I was told that the moment you release a project, you release music, you put it out there for the world, it is no longer yours. It is everybody's. And symbolically, yes, it's true. I agree with that. You know, the moment you put something out, people will make it theirs or not. And you should feel, honored that people see value in what you do so much so that they want to, you know, make it theirs. It took me some years to really process that idea, and I have to say I struggled with that because I've said it before on the show, but I've always felt like a little bit of the black sheep in my industry. You know, in the sense that, you know, a little bit of an outsider, quite a lot of an outsider in so many ways, not really into the clicks, but at the same time, I'm known, and I would dare to say that I respect everybody, or most people, as a matter of fact. And I believe that, you know, to the most part, I'm getting that respect back, you know, which I think is essentially the most important thing is, you know, holding, you know, certain values, which respect is part of those values, and I hold that to very high regards. So I do treat people with as much respect as I can, yeah, I expect to be treated equally the same. However, you know, when I went through the process of really studying these feelings of mine, you know, towards people, you know, starting to use more of my drums and getting inspired and hearing productions being done from major artists that really sounded exactly like Boddhi Satva, or you could definitely tell that it came from the Boddhi Satva school of sounds. It was I had a very bittersweet feeling. I have to tell you the truth. I definitely felt like I was like, yo, but why don't they come to me for that, man? You know, they kept asking people to do vague and pale copies of the work when they could actually come to the original guy that does it, and, you know, I would deliver something nice. And the truth of the matter is that it's not on you. It's not on you. Sometimes people will just not feel either the need to invite you or to ask you to do something for them just because, well, they have their own people, they have their own team that decide. It can be decided on so many different levels, so many different scales. You can't really presume and expect that, you know, you will be the go-to person. And nowadays, where everybody and their mamas can do amazing drum programming, you know, from getting, you know, access to amazing platforms such as Splice.com, for example, or many other platforms like Splice, which I'm not getting paid for. So I'm talking about them, you know, because it is a platform that I also use because they have great tools, you know, very useful tools, stuff that are very, very, very useful for producers, especially producers who are at a certain caliber, a certain level, where you actually know how to, for example, sample accordingly, you know, work with what you got, and, you know, use great tools to enhance the quality of your productions. You know, with that being said, there's however loops and stuff like that that people can use, and I think that's also great. That's the evolution of sounds, and feeling like you owed something, right? Is a complicated feeling because nobody owes you nothing. That's the absolute truth. And at the same time, it can feel very bittersweet when you're not being acknowledged. And for a long time, I felt like, you know, I was either criticized for the kind of productions I was doing, you know, for the fact that I was mixing, you know, the mainstream to the underground, et cetera, just doing different kinds of fusions. And I really, really felt super, super hurt. At a certain point, I got really discouraged by all that. I was like, you know what? I don't even know why I'm doing this thing, you know? And bear in mind, it's been 22 years in this industry, you know? And it's amazing the amount of time I wanted to give up, and I ended up not giving up because you're too far. I was way too deep in it already, and I continued because at the end of the day, the truth is, people around you will make you feel like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. But truthfully, you're not you're not supposed to do it the way they want to do it, and the way they suggest you should be doing it. And so I realized that I think early on, as much as I was struggling with these emotions, I realized that I just had to keep on making art and creating music and building a body of work that, needed to grow. And that growth was also, the work on the growth was actually inspired by my good brother Keisha, who I'm inviting tonight, and who I wasn't sure was going to join us tonight, but he's here. So let us bring the brother in the stream. Indeed. Papa Keisha mukulu premier bato ko balili balulu.
Yo.
Bambino cité donc Papa Keisha donc merci tu. Mignon garçon.
Un peu seulement. We're working on it. Work in progress.
Congratulations, Papa K. Congratulations. So yeah, as I was saying, talking about legacy, not claiming, but feeling like sometimes, when you're a pioneer and somebody who's genuine and looking out for others, along the way, you tend to realize that, you forget to make sure that you have the right people that also look out for you, and it's not just a one-way street. So yeah, and also the inner fights and battles with dealing with that sense of feeling of injustice, where it's like, but it's not fair. How am I doing all this work and other people are reaping the fruits of this hard labor?
Do you believe that
we have a lot?
Do you believe that the fruit of the labor is they are benefiting from the fruit of your labor or their own labor?
Well, it's a great question. I think it's their own labor. However, I think that if we talk creatively talking, right, in terms of inspiration, whether it is you or myself,
everybody benefits from our labor.
Obviously, but and
let's put it this
and again,
way.
and it's not to put it in a way that, but we have to call a cat a cat. I mean, I remember to this very day, we're talking about early 90s, listening to your music on MCM Africa, and being like, "Whoa, what is this?" I had never heard anything like that. It was a mind-blowing experience, and you fast forward to today, and obviously I entered the industry, did what I did, became an influencing presence and force in the game.
Yeah.
And so kind of like following the same trajectory that you had, however, minus the mainstream success. But nonetheless,
can you call it mainstream?
But yes, I mean, look, when you generated the kind of money and influence you've generated through the years, it is a mainstream success. I mean, you had the Cora Award, so many prizes. You have been with proeminent creatives who have influenced generations of musicians until I don't know how many years in time. It really is speaking volume. I mean, I'm talking about Kassav, and so we had a conversation. I mean, for example, for you in your field and your sound, I mean, you and Kassav are the pioneers. I mean, Kassa before you, and then you following right after that. Of course, there's other producers that have to be acknowledged, but the bottom line is, answering your question, is it their hard work or yours? It is their hard work. Undoubtedly, people succeed out of their hard work. Yes.
Yeah.
But you and I know very well that we've helped pave the way for a lot of people. We opened a lot of doors, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not asking anybody to return the favor necessarily in that sense. But what I'm saying is more, an observation. It's more like, oh, okay, shit, this is how it's working. I see. And, no. I mean, it used to be bittersweet, but now it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
It's an interesting feeling because it's also mixed. Master electronic, whatever. It's mixed with this feeling of the imposter syndrome that is there too. Dali, there's this feeling of, what up, Malcolm Beats? As you can see, I brought my people.
I see. You bring the crew, you bring the squad.
Yeah, listen. Walk with your. Look at him with his AI photos looking cute.
Malcolm Beats.
So it takes a little bit of experience and a little bit of going through the frustrations and stuff to accept, even for yourself, that you change the face of, or you part of, because it's not something you do single-handedly, but you part of changing the face of Zouk.
Absolutely.
Bringing your own branch, changing the face of Kizomba, changing the face of, in a way, Ivory Coast music. You're part of that wave of Coupé Décalé, and in a way also shaping a little bit of the inspiration for the next generation of compa artists, and all the Congolese artists that are on the top right now in France. What they do is what you did 20 years ago. So you can't not see yourself as a trailblazer. Now, the problem here is, if you see yourself that way, why other people, they know who you are, but they pretend that you're not here. And it's something that, for my part, I see everywhere. I see in, when you talk to the people directly, they'll tell you what you did is legendary, your songs,
sure,
you're the guy, etc. But when it comes to the moment
when
it comes to the moment where the industry congratulates the industry, then it becomes politics. Then the Caverdians want to congratulate the Caverdians. The Angolans want to congratulate the Angolans. The Ivory Coast, etc. And all these people, they conveniently forget you in the conversation.
Absolutely. And that applies also, to the other industries. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So then you must ask yourself, okay, what did I do wrong? Like, why not? Like, why am I not why am I not recognized for my achievements? And do I care? I think the older you get, for my part, the less emotional I get about all this, because I accept that it might not be my mission to receive those flowers by those people, because what I'm doing might be a little bit way too ahead and in an altitude where they actually don't see me. They usually see me when it's like 10 years have passed and they're like, oh yeah, he used to do that. So, the use of the internet, the use of all these things. So when you do interviews, when you meet people, all of us, yeah, you've always been in advance, etc. But when they are congratulating themselves in a way, because you are doing something that is international and that is and then all these people are in their little, national competition, little politics. What you are is kind of,
just an ovni.
yeah, not the same altitude. So you feel alone in a certain way, but it's not really that they forget you. Maybe they don't even know where to put you. I remember when my first album came out.
Mm-hmm.
When my first album came out, I was frustrated. Sold 100,000 copies. So I should be happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my frustration was, why am I in the islands section? When my album has Brazilian music, Zouk music, compa music, mixes of R&B, and like my first album, 98.
Yeah.
And I go to the FNAC, the store, and I ask the guy, first of all, I'm from Congo. Why am I not in Congolese music? Well, it's not Congolese music. Well, if I'm Congolese,
it must be
isn't
Congolese,
my music
right?
Congolese?
No.
Congolese artist? No. Your music is island music. I say, well, I'm rapping in English, so why am I not? If you decide that my music is island music, and I rap in English, why in the island you don't put Wyclef Jean as well? Why is he in hip hop R&B? Mm-hmm. And why am I not there? And they were like, yeah, but we cannot put you in all the categories at the same time. And I was like, yeah, but my album has all of this. And they were like, yeah, but the people who take the decision, they already put you in that box. So now you're there. And I was like, yeah, but I'm missing sales from the R&B crowd, from the rap crowd, and from the Congolese crowd as well, because you are putting me in the small section that is island, meaning compa, zouk, kizomba. At that time, nobody was talking about kizomba. It was more Cap Verdean, Afro, zouk, etc. Like everything was in those 2 meters at the back of the store. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, but I want to be in the prominent places. So I went to Sony and to the sub label where I was signed to Glove Music, and I told them, I want my album to have visibility, and since I'm in a big label, can you do something? So what they did is that all around the stores, the FNAC mm-hmm. in Paris, they had big posters everywhere and stuff that was hanging on the wall with my face at the album everywhere. And but that was before the album came out. When the album came out, even the guys at FNAC said that, listen, they never have seen that. Everybody was stealing the album. They had to put the album out of where it was and put them under the protection, with the alarm, because usually nobody would steal those albums, but mine, everybody would steal them. So they start understanding. Marketing. And I remember when we did and when we did the first show at FNAC, my manager tell them, how many security you got? And they were like, yeah, we got one person. And they were like, that's not, she was like, it's not a good idea. Do you know who he is? It was like, he's a Zouk artist. Like, we never put more than one security for Zouk artists. It's like, we're gonna have 300 people? Like, it's okay, we can handle it. Like, we're gonna have 150 people. We know how to handle it, etc., etc. Mm. So we on our way to the store, and we get a call, and we hear noise, people yelling, and this is the boss of the store. Don't come, please, don't come. What's going on? Don't come. Don't. People, bro, it was 20,000 people. So 20,000 people come to see a free show at FNAC, and there's space for I don't know, 500 to 100
500.
people in the auditorium.
C'est le flag it's the flag de Champs-Élysées, non?
No, this one was, I think it was Créteil. It was Créteil or Terne. I think it was Créteil. Listen, everybody was there. Maybe not 20,000, 2,000 probably. 3,000 people, but there was only space for, small auditorium, 100 people. So we had to relocate and we had to postpone everything. And then disappoint everybody. And now we had to redo the show with invitations and stuff for the 2 weeks after and so they push us to Créteil because it was where, it's more black people, and the one at the Champs-Élysées, the prestigious one, they didn't want it was not Champs-Élysées, it was at Terne. The prestigious one, they didn't want like a Zouk show of a guy from Lemniscation. Nobody cared about that, right? And now they call us. Oh, we heard what happened, and so we want to move the show to Champs-Élysées now, or to Terne. I was like, oh yeah, we have a bigger place there. We can take like 500 to 1,000 people. Maybe we can do it in 2 days, or maybe you can do 2 per station and sign CDs. And then all of a sudden, and now we're gonna have like 20 security people, and all of a sudden everybody was starting to understand and stop believing.
You caught the attention,
believing, right? And then Bounce Baby played on M6, which was the second or third biggest channel, and then the rest is history. Then I arrived in the West Indies. People was the same craziness everywhere I go, in every country. And then people didn't know how to approach. So I'm not saying I understand. I'm just understanding, with time, when I look about the history, I'm like, maybe they just didn't know how to approach. That's a little bit of everything. A little bit of they're scared, and you're too powerful. You're too powerful for a young man that just arrived. This is your first song. This is your first album. You're not supposed to sell the same as Kassav. And you're not even from the West Indies. So it creates amazement for some people.
It's a disruption. It's disrupting the status quo.
It's a disruption, but it also creates for a lot of people the sense of, who does he think he is? He's a threat. He's gonna be too powerful. If he starts like this, he's gonna be too powerful. And some people, some people, they look at the plate this way. There's food for 10 people. It's already 30 of us. This guy just arrived and took the food for 5 people. And now we have 30 of us have to share the food for 5 now. And so you become the enemy. And then some people there, you start creating resentment because some people think that you don't deserve. Some people start, oh yeah, he doesn't live in the ghetto. He's this, he's that. He's not from here. All this stuff. And where you are, you're just like, hey, listen, I was just inspired to do some music and I just wanted to share it with the world. To me, it's nothing more than that. But I guess for you guys, it's everything else. And for me, I don't care about all that stuff. Why do you care about all that stuff?